Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, and the Pittsburgh Steelers not only had one of the most improved, offseasons so far, most dominant free agency periods, made some big-time trades, acquisitions for this offseason, but more importantly, just went out with a bang for the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft, made some insane moves. We're going to break it all down in this video. They had 3 picks on day 2 and got some really good players. In this video, we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about each player, what they bring, who they are, and why they're all really good fits here for Omar Khan and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we jump in the video, comment down below a draft grade, and honestly, who else should they go out and get in this year's draft? With that being said, let's jump right into the video. And here we go again. The Pittsburgh Steelers are making a splash in the 3rd round. I did not expect this man to be here, but according to Jordan Schultz, the Michigan wide receiver Roman Wilson is on his way to the Pittsburgh Steelers to, go over there with Russell Wilson, George Pickens, Quez Watkins, Calvin Austin. Man, I love this pickup here. A future, maybe starter wide receiver at the NFL level. This is going to be massive. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about Roman Wilson, what he adds to the team, but more importantly, why or how he can help this team from day 1. Before we jump into the video and talk about him, make sure you guys do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we break down a Steelers video. So make sure you guys join the family. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. But with that being said, let's dive in. Now, this is a steal. I don't know how he's here. I don't know how they got him, but they did. Roman Wilson, the 5'11", 185-pound wide receiver out of Michigan, just won the Natty, is or will be eventually a plus starter in the NFL, and you're getting him late in the 2nd or 3rd round is absolutely unreal. Ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. Very quick, as a great burst in 2023, was 2nd all Big Ten Conference, right? Team's co-offensive skill player of the year, led the team with 48 catches, 789 receiving yards, 16.4 yards per reception, tied 9th in the FBS for 12 receiving touchdowns, started all 15 games for the national championship, Michigan, right? But also is a beast, right? Overall, smooth strider with alarming speed once he touches top gear. Guys, this is a guy, when you give him the football, he is a threat to make something happen every single time. Wilson primarily focused on attacking the intermediate and deep portions of the field, adding an explosive element to the Wolverines' ground and pound approach as well. Wilson is an electrifying athlete. Dude, I can't even believe this is happening right now. They actually just got this guy. Point B as a route runner to reach potential. Wilson has good hands and he can run after the catch down the field, but he's not really a catch and go option underneath. He has the separation potential to make a quarterback's life easier and figures to continue his ascension as a starting slot talent, which when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, you look at the wide receiver room, you look at Quez Watkins, you look at Calvin Austin, 2 guys who I think have potential, but Roman Wilson can step in, be a day 1 starter, an absolute go-getter for this team in Pittsburgh. You also look at some of his strengths, the explosive speed, the driving acceleration, right? The defenders struggle to stay with him because he can extend plays. Whenever the quarterback gets out the pocket, he's going to go with him, right? He's got good post-catch acceleration, can make anything into something or nothing into something. He's competitive focused when catches become contested. This guy is a monster of a wide receiver. You're going to come in here right away and add to this passing offense, who was really bad last season, but also added Russell Wilson, added Justin Fields, added Cordell Patterson, added a guy in Troy Fautanu who will be a starting left tackle. Zach Frazier could be a starting center. You have George Pickens, you have Calvin Austin. This offense is a whole lot better with Arthur Smith, right? They're going to try to run this football, but now that they have a good wide receiver in Roman, I don't even understand. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. What a pickup here in Roman Wilson. This is going to be massive. Now, real quickly, before we finish off this video, do me a quick little favor, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the family. It's completely free, doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout the entirety of the offseason, the drafts, preseason, OTAs, minicamp, training camp, everything you guys can think of. We got you guys covered. So make sure you guys join the family. But also, we're going to have more Steelers videos coming out after the NFL draft, film breakdown, meeting the entire NFL draft class. We're going to keep it all covered on this page. So make sure you guys subscribe. But with that being said, let's jump right back in. The Pittsburgh Steelers may have just drafted literally the biggest steal of the NFL draft. I thought this guy would go middle of the second round, maybe late second round. There was no way in my mind this guy was falling to the third round. No way in my mind. I think he is probably one of the most underrated linebackers in the NFL draft, and the Steelers get him right to close out the third round. Pittsburgh Steelers are selecting linebacker Payton Wilson with the 98th overall selection. He had an 89.9 PFF grade in 2023, which was third among all linebackers in this year's NFL draft. And again, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have one of the best defenses in football, get him in the third round. What a pick. We're going to break down everything you need to know about Payton Wilson. But before we jump into the video, before we break down who he is, what he brings, what he adds, do me a favor, hit the like button just so we can get the video out to more Steelers fans. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications so you're notified every time we post a video, every time we go, post a real film review breakdown of the Steelers. We're going to be covering the Steelers for the rest of the season, so make sure you guys are here for that. But without any further ado, let's jump into what Payton Wilson brings as a player. Guys, you just got a guy who is ranked, will eventually be a plus starter. You got a future, maybe star late in the third round here from NC State. I don't know how they did it. I don't know why he's still here. But 6'4", 233 pounds, absolute unit. I mean, look at these grades. First overall total score for linebackers, second for athleticism, fifth for production score. This dude was a monster in the combine, right? You also look at his 2023 stats. He won the Chuck Bednarik Defensive Player of the Year award, the Buckus Award, nation's top linebacker, first team Associated Press All-American, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, first team All-ACC, finalist for the, nation's top defender award, ranked 5th in FBS with 138 tackles, tied for 7th with 17.5 TFLs, started 12 games, 6 sacks, 3 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, 6 PBUs, and a forced fumble. I don't even understand how they did this, man. But let's look. Wilson's length and athletic profile could certainly push him up the board for some teams. Like I said, should have been an early second round pick, but his history with some injuries is what is scaring people. But again, if he doesn't have injuries, he is going to be someone who is a steal, right? He's free-flowing in pursuit and is at his best in his as a run and hit hunter rather than a static defender faced up with downhill blockers. He has the burst to shoot downhill and make a tackle for a loss, but lacks the demeanor to play strength to consistently leverage run fits. Wilson will find himself near the football frequently when allowed to play freely and avoid the mess in the middle. He has third down ability as a blitzer and a talented cover man who can play zone or man coverage. Right away, you see versatility. A guy who can drop back into his zone, get the mid-read, a hook curl, drop into a flat, but also can cover some tight ends, can cover some running backs out the backfield, and man-to-man coverage. I think if he doesn't have that medical problem, he's maybe a late first-round pick, early second-round pick. He's long, athletic. He showed wide receiver-like speed at the combine. A 4.43 is unreal. Rangy to find his way into high number of tackle opportunities. Boom. Has the hands and eyes to dart into passing lanes, take the ball away. He's got burst and lateral agility, creating blitzing potential for gaming fronts, right? I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable for the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Probably the biggest steal of them all. You bring him alongside, start developing behind Patrick Queen, behind Landon Roberts. You still have Mark Robinson, someone they thought was going to be nasty or really good in training camp, right? You also have Cole Holcomb. I mean, he's going to develop behind some really good players. They even love Nick Herbig as well off the edge, but this guy's going to bring a different type of beast in training camp. OTAs. I mean, I'm so excited to see what he can do. And here we go again. The Pittsburgh Steelers are being extremely smart here, taking positions of need and going all in for a Super Bowl, right? You could be flashy or you could take the smart picks. Zack Fraser is who the Steelers are getting with this overall selection, according to the Pittsburgh Steelers. With the 51st pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, they are selecting center Zach Frazier. This is going to be a great addition. I love Zach Frazier. I think he's highly underrated. I do believe that they wanted Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon. The Raiders do get him a little bit earlier in the draft, but Zach Frazier's not too much. I mean, he's right there with him, right? Now, in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about Zach Frazier. who he is, what he adds to the team, and why I think he's a good pickup. However, before we get into the video, comment down below a letter grade for this draft pick for the Steelers. Also, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family. I will be covering the Steelers and what they do throughout the entirety of the offseason. So make sure you guys are here for that. Join the family. But without any further ado, talk a little bit about Zach Frazier. The man is a monster. He's good backup with potential to develop into a starter. I think that's a little bit... I don't believe in this. I think he is a starter. I think he is a starter. He's 6'3", 313 pounds. He does have some issues. I do think maybe they are right. Maybe he has some developing to do before he's a starter. But I do believe he's got starter potential right out the gate. You look at some things he did in 2023. Third team Associated Press All-American. First team All Big 12 Conference. Finalist for the William V. Campbell Trophy, which is basically just, he's very smart. Okay, take it like that. Very good IQ. Knows the game of football, started all 12 games at center, opted out of the team's Duke Mayo Bowl win over North Carolina. Did have a little bit of injury, but nothing too crazy. Now, when you look at his strengths, wide, squared off frame, muscular arms, exceptional core strength. This is a guy who like I said, can develop into a good starter at the NFL level. He's got jolting upper body power, which helps him widen run lanes with down and secure blocks. Guys, this one is important. We talk about Arthur Smith and what they've added with Najee and Jalen Warren and what they want to do. They want to run this football. They want to be able to tire out defenses and then throw on them late in games. Guys, this is what this guy can help you do. He's really good. Got the upper body power to absolutely demoralize interior defensive linemen and give you some running lanes. He drives opposition into the ground with every opportunity he gets, again, creating them running lanes, using darting eyes and plus instincts to locate pressure points around him. He can squeeze down toward the A-gap blitzes with forceful positioning and punches with good placement and above average grip strength. This guy is an outstanding player, a great specimen of an interior offensive lineman, and I think he could be really, really good at the NFL level if he does the right amount of development, right? So let's go over to the Steelers depth chart here. Now, what I like that they already have Nate Herbig. I think Nate Herbig, Isaac Seumalo, James Daniels, these guys can really help him get better. They also add a day one starter in Troy Fautanu. They also have Broderick Jones. So I don't think he needs to come in here and be a day one starter, but you are building this team for the future, right? You have to go through positions in years where, you know what, you don't need the flashy players. Let's build an elite offensive line for the future, right? Now in 2 or 6, 7, 8 years, you're going to have one of the best offensive lines in football, right? And that is big. When you talk about the Dallas Cowboys, and they had such a dominant O-line for the past 10 seasons, yeah, this is what the Steelers are trying to build here. And they're trying to build a nasty running game for Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. I love it. You look at the Steelers running attack last season. They ranked number 16 in yards per carry, 13 in rushing touchdowns per game, 11 in rushing yards per game. They needed to get better up front, and that's exactly what they did so far in this NFL draft. I know it's not flashy, but I absolutely love it. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next Steelers update. Peace.